The worst thing is, now you've referenced it, I'm going to have to leave it in. And that's what got me in trouble before and made me a father. At least I made a joke out of it to save it. But yes, we are talking about single mothers really raising men. And considering we was both raised by single mothers for one reason or another, I think it's an interesting topic to explore, and especially these days when masculinity seems to be under fire for a lot. And I guess, at least to me, it seems that single mothers get a lot of the shade for it. You're talking about kind of like bringing up kids and everything else. So it is like, oh, well, if there was a father at home, it wouldn't be so bad, this, that, or whatever. So obviously it's not maybe as direct as I've just put it.
Got you,
but it is kind of pushed at that way. You get what I'm saying? As if to say like, hey, there's something missing from the recipe here.
If I didn't know how to shave my legs, she's gangbusters, man. She's got me covered.
I mean,
to learn how to do this, yeah, I had to go out and do that myself. You know what I mean? Like learning, and it sounds so dumb, but like ladies will understand this too. Thankfully, Mum taught me that kind of stuff because she carries herself in a certain way, and I respect that. So that's where my work ethic comes from, is seeing how hard she worked to keep me. You know what I mean? Like that's where the work ethic came from me, is not doing chores and stuff, because I got away with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I got away with being lazy. I still do it at times, guys.
What's going on, my bro?
Yo, I'm very congested and I don't know why. Yeah. Maybe it's hay fever. Oh, hay fever season's back up.
Uh-oh.
I would explain that.
Get out your anti-allergens, antihistamines?
Yeah, antihistamines. Oh, God. Dude, do you know what? It's been so nice to see the sun again. I've just been like, oh man, this feels good, but I forget how allergic I am to this season.
Yeah, puffy eye season.
I don't even get puffy eyes, man. I just get like nasal drip. And a random cough as well. Like, my lungs tighten up bad.
Those random bloody itchy nose sessions where it's, yeah.
It's always fun when I'm recording on the range as well. It's just like, okay, lining up a shot. Oh, okay. Yeah, the goal. Yeah, that was great. It's like, do you know how hard that is?
I mean, if it drips, at least you'll know which way the wind's blowing.
It's so hard to edit it out, man. It's so annoying. Oh, God.
Did you know for us to start?
I do have a did you know.
Enthusiasm, I like it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
You boy.
Let's do it.
So, did you know the scientists were using rubber ducks to learn how sea currents work?
Eh? Oh, bro, I just had the mental image that giant rubber duck that go through Japan?
It went through all over the world, basically.
That was sick.
Well, oddly similar theme here. So, a happy accident, a cargo ship in 1992 basically spilled like thousands of rubber ducks out into the sea by accident. And they washed up all over the world. Like, literally from like Scotland to Hawaii, all over the world. And scientists were actually able to use it to kind of learn more about how sea currents work.
Bro, that's like, remember there was a shipping container tipped over with like cars and motorbikes in it at some point, and like people were rushing to get them. Like, could you imagine going scuba diving and coming up with a fresh beam? I mean, it wouldn't be so fresh.
I mean, how much damage would have been done to that car though?
Nothing a bag of rice wouldn't solve, or at least an attempt.
Bag of rice.
You'd at least attempt it, bro. Come on.
The storage fees you'd pay on that rice, like the container ship of rice to park the beamer.
Start with like a hatchback or something a bit smaller.
I guess you make money on the parts though.
Slightly worn.
Slightly damp.
Bro, it is mad just to think about like the way the ocean you could literally like, it's like that old message in a bottle and things like that. Like, where was the logic in that, by the way? How the hell would they know the origin point of the message?
Probably write it on it, no?
Yeah, but you have no idea where it's going to go other than downstream from wherever you're at, and that varies massively.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. It's like people who buried time capsules.
I mean, bro, that's the biggest scapegoat in history, you know? So, hey, I sent you a letter. River didn't bring it. There was no blue ticks in those days. You could air anybody. I'm so sorry I didn't get your birthday invite. Oh, I really, really wish I could have come.
You ever bury a time capsule back in the day? I think I did.
Ooh. I don't know. Hypothetically, though, if you was to build a time capsule now, what would you put into it?
Oh, God.
Ironically, thank you for digging me out of the hole of not having a hypothetical.
What would I put in there to describe what it was like at this point? some kind of photographic evidence of cost of living. Maybe like a price tag that
So just
displays like 12 eggs for $20,
oh
so
no.
people understand how bad it got.
What do you reckon the most expensive food will ever get? Like of all time? Because you won't realize it when it's that time. Do you know what I mean? Like it won't be until it
Yeah.
kind of comes down after that. But
It's
like
hard to quantify though, because some food is expensive anyways. But it's about the basics being expensive.
I know, but when you're like on the corner slinging yourself for a loaf of bread, like oh thick cut,
I mean,
yeah.
we have seen how it can happen. Look at what happened in Zimbabwe.
Talking to the wrong guy, bro.
Oh, years ago they had like hyperinflation, so
Mm.
bread would cost you 7 figures plus
Oh no,
of their
bro.
currency. And their currency got so watered down that everything hyperinflated.
Was that where like their cash literally had no
Correct.
monetary value?
Yeah, it was a stupid amount.
And like there was people like stalls of people
It
with
would
just
be-
like bundles and bundles of
Yeah,
notes.
so like in their currency it'd be millions, but for us it'd be like pennies,
Mm.
basically, because it's hyperinflated. Because they just kept printing money.
The thing is though, like realistically, the point of where we're at in the world now, things ain't got much better for those people, if any, and things ain't definitely ain't getting much better for us.
No. What would I put in the time capsule? That's kind of hard.
See, if it was back in the 90s, I'd definitely put like a Game Boy in there.
Mm.
You'd have to put some form of phone.
Smash an iPhone in there.
That's the
Nah.
only type of iPhone.
Nah. Put the Samsung phone in there. It was bending in everyone's back pockets.
Bro, put a Nokia 3210 in there and it'll still be charged when it's opened.
The thing will still be buzzing. What are you talking about? You have £3.22 left on your credit.
I don't know. It's like instantly my mind's going back to like
bro,
the 90s.
Do a lineage of technology so that they can understand. So banging a 3210, a BlackBerry, iPhone, like Samsung S6.
Would you put in anything just for your own like personal joke, just something completely out of place? Like,
Yeah, cost of my dog. They were this small.
let's hope that let's hope that they invent nanotechnology.
Just a microcast that's engraved with better shrinkage.
Oh my! Like, this is how we know the climate of the time. I don't know, like something just so stupid, just like a friggin' the pop-up worms. Then you open the can or whatever else. It's
They
just
just slap you upside
like
the head.
all serious, have it look all pristine, dated, this, that, and everything else, and then you just get like a paint bomb friggin' as soon as you open it or something.
Probably some stink bombs.
Mm.
You gotta understand how British childhood works.
Do you know what?
Snaps.
Would you? Is
Fun
there
snaps.
any? You see how they normally put like music from the time, like a record or whatever else? Is there any music from now that you put in? Because I really don't enjoy the music of now for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, is there any
I
iconic
guess I'm disturbed.
2025 music?
God knows. So if I've listened to a track released in 2025 twice.
Ugh. Bro, it is getting hard to keep up with, especially now you don't know what's AI and what's this or what's that. Like, I scrolled past people and I'm like, is that AI?
Crossed.
I genuinely, unless it's in front of me.
I put in a photo of me and my missus just to prove that you can get lucky. And that you can, it don't matter how bad you feel about yourself, you could do alright in this world.
The worst thing is, some future generation would look at that and be like, oh damn, they bred interspecies? Like, like, what is this poor human lady doing with this freaking bear?
Just put my plant in there with a note saying, please water.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, it depends. Would you want to put some stuff in there just to show how stupid humans got? You could put a pair of Yeezys in there.
Yeah, bro,
Or
fashion.
those weird sliders, sandal things that everyone wears that looks like something out of Dragon Ball Z.
Fashion is another thing that's just completely gone in the bin, huh? Like, again, I'm not one to judge. My fashion sense is
When I
non-existent.
make it as a golf content creator, I am going to dress like an absolute madman. You know that.
I mean, you dress far more colourfully than I do, so you're
Gonna be
already
that guy
considered
rocking
a
around with
man.
like a pink visor and stuff like that, man. It's gonna be
Oh,
mad.
sweet Jesus. Why? What is the allure of dressing flamboyantly? Because considering I'm always in like black or white.
I think it's kind of a way of expressing yourself, really. That's what
Express
fashion.
yourself.
That's what fashion is at its roots. It's a
Hmm.
way of expressing yourself, isn't it?
And I guess that's
Or
why
expressing someone's vision.
it's got completely weird these days.
100%.
Like,
But no, like, when I look back, like there's a golfer called Ian Poulter. I've always loved how he dresses. He always dressed very differently to anyone else on tour.
here you go. Golf balls change over time. Would you chuck a couple of them in?
Yeah.
Put in a, what is it, a GPS golf ball?
Just banging some golf clubs, bro. We've gone from hickory to just like pure titanium, basically. Well, no, actually, we went hickory titanium, but now, God knows, probably carbon fiber shafts now.
Hey, do you know they have those telescopic fishing rods?
Mm.
Can you get telescopic golf clubs?
You probably could, but they wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, but like if it's just like, you're bored, just a little bit of a fidget thing, do
I
you know
might
what I
have to
mean?
figure it out because that sounds like a great idea for work.
Mm-hmm.
Just be rolling around it.
Bro, imagine just like cleanup or whatever else. So there's always one dummy in the office that throws a paper ball and misses or whatever else. Just like, hey, I got that.
You reckon I give Rio permission to try and do like a lob shot over the club
Don't know. Could try.
where I work?
Only one way to find out.
There's so many areas of that place that I'm tempted just to try and sneak a golf club and a ball in the practice.
And now if one with pocket size, you'd win.
It's like a micro putt.
I'm trying to think, like, I mean, newspapers still exist, funny enough, so I'd have to chuck a newspaper.
Just about.
Yeah. Just to show how absurd the world is at the current time. Like, it genuinely is hard to think of things from now to chuck in. Like, instantly my mind does go to, like, 90s, early 2000s or whatever else. Like, again, now feels a lot like the kind of hustle and bustle of just everybody trying to survive. Like, genuinely, you don't know if you wake up tomorrow and World War III is well ensued.
I mean, like, is that my alarm or is that bomb alert?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, is that a raid shelter going? Like, or what is it, a raid alarm? But yeah, I don't know, there's so much uncertainty now that I really don't know what, I think and as well, things don't last. Like, but light bulbs are built to fail.
Mm.
So, do you actually know the story behind it?
Mm.
So, there is somewhere, I forget where, but there are light bulb that's been on for like 100 and something years. But they all got together in the early light bulb industry or whatever else and was like, look, like, we need resellability or whatever else. So they actually built in product failure and it's perpetuated through the kind of production industry.
Yeah.
Where they could build a light bulb that lasts forever. They've done it. There are light bulbs on but you've got to think about like some places where light bulbs do not like ever really get changed. Some lighthouses or some kind of I don't even know what tall things. What are they? Like radio towers and all of that have like the lights on them so helicopters and planes don't hit them. Like they have lights on them. How many people are really climbing up there? So if they go down on a Tuesday in February or whatever else, like it's probably not scheduled to get changed once a year or every couple of years or whatever else.
I mean, people do climb those buildings though. It's like the Shard has like one cleaning team that continuously operates.
Oh yeah, they do, but again, like they kind of calculate for it. Do you know what I mean? Like if one of those windows randomly broke on the Shard, that's something completely out of the thing or whatever else, and it's gonna have to get like an emergency job or something else. So like, but yeah, so with the light bulbs and that, if they don't fail, people don't buy new ones. So look, think about how many products we buy that you're literally just buying it and then it's a ticking time clock until you have to buy another one. A phone, a computer, and this, that, and that. I mean, there's elements of like technology advancing and things like that, but at the same time, things do not have to be anywhere near as, what's the word? Perishable as they are. Like, bro, how many things, was it not you the other day that was telling me about a bag for life that didn't last you more than 30 seconds?
Ironically, I was just going to say to you, if I'm going to put something in a time capsule, I'm going to put a plastic bag in there and say this cost me 80p.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, comment below if you're making a time capsule of 2025 or even like the 2020s, just because we're not that far into this year. What the hell would you put in it? Because not much is gonna last by our kind of standard at this point. I mean, I put in a Big Mac. That'll still probably be edible come
The chips definitely.
year
The
30,000.
chips 100%.
Yeah. Any more things that you can think about? If you do have any good suggestions, let us know. And hey, maybe before the end of the year, we will do an actual time capsule somewhere. I mean, what are there rules in that? Can you just dig a hole anywhere and put a time capsule? I doubt it, but then if nobody's looking, do they know about it? We'll look into that for a future
Just leave a
episode.
little note on there, like if you find this DM at Perspective Chasers podcast or at Pop Progression.
And drop a like and follow while you're there too.
Please subscribe.
I'll still be changing followers.
There's the YouTube subscribe button in there.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Bro, could you imagine, like, you've been dead 100, 200 years or whatever else, and then your account has been dormant for just as long?
Plus one.
And on that note, let's go get into the episode. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm allergic to the sun.
And pollen by the sniff of it. And on this episode, we are talking about mothers raised by men. Hmm? I can't wait for you to stop laughing now so I can redo that.
Absolute clown.
Just a bit. And on this episode, we're talking about men raised by mothers. I think it is an interest. Are you still giggling?
Mothers raised by men.
I mean, it would still work, but we're not mothers. So, man. The worst thing is, now you've referenced it, I'm going to have to leave it in. And that's what got me in trouble before and made me a father. At least I made a joke out of it to save it. But yes, we are talking about single mothers really raising men. And considering we was both raised by single mothers for one reason or another, I think it's an interesting topic to explore, and especially these days when masculinity seems to be under fire for a lot. And I guess, at least to me, it seems that single mothers get a lot of the shade for it. Like, the idea of a father not being in a home seems to kind of portray a massive negative idea in a lot of people's heads.
It does. I don't think single mothers get the flack for it, though. I don't think they're the ones that get necessarily put down or insulted by it. I think there is an element of judgment to it that I know that I think I felt in the past.
Mm.
But I don't know if I'd blame the single mothers for it personally, but
Again, I'm not saying it's right or whatever else, but I have seen, especially on social media and that, it is single mums that get thrown under the bus when you're talking about kind of like bringing up kids and everything else. Like, it is like, oh, well, if there was a father at home, it wouldn't be so bad, this, that, or whatever. So obviously it's not maybe as direct as I've just put it,
got you,
but it is kind of pushed at that way. You get what I'm saying? As if to say like, hey, there's something missing from the recipe here. And sometimes there are parts missing from the recipe. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, even as a single father, like, I know the importance of my daughter having her mum in her life. Like, there are valuable things that both parents are gonna bring, but I don't think not having one or not having the other is gonna mean detriment one way or the other. Like, every situation has to speak for itself in that sense. Like, there are going to be some mums that are mum and dad, and they do absolutely amazing jobs, mate. They raise upstanding members of society, people that contribute to the world and everything else. And there's going to be just the same that don't. And same for the flip side of fathers. Like, I think it's so easy to polarize the other side and say it's their fault that society's bad or this, that, or whatever else, instead of going like, well, hold up, let's look at our own actions individually, opposed to just going, well, you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, or whatever else. Like, even off the pod, we was talking about people that just really and truly need a slap in the face in life, and they've never had it. So because and it's not to say that that has to come from your mum or whatever else, but they've just never had that authority thing to say, look, you need to sit down, shut up, and actually listen and see what you're doing, putting out into the world, how you're portrayed by others, and actually see what's going on in the world beyond your own actions. But then you've got these spoiled little brats, which is probably going to be more from the kind of single mothers, or not even single mothers, the kind of mummy cuddled society, men and women, that just think however the world is going to cater to me. And the world ain't like that for the most part.
No, but it's a weird one because I was definitely spoiled and mollycoddled by mum, but I turned out right. I still respect authority. And I wouldn't say I'm a spoiled brat or ever was. Was I spoiled? Yes.
In
Right.
what terms? Expand.
Bro, I had whatever I wanted. I didn't go about, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to worry about where next bill was coming from. I had games consoles, I had latest tracksuits, I could go do things. Like, I
Did,
never had to stress about that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Here's a question. Did you have to do chores growing up?
eh, it was more of a thought, but I never really followed through with it.
See, because obviously growing up with my mum and that, like me and my sister had to do chores for our pocket money and everything. Like if we didn't work, if we didn't contribute, we didn't get the nice things. So like, I really do think that's kind of where the core of my work ethic comes from. And again, I've said it before on the pod, like I do that with little one. Like she helps me do the washing, and it might be simple tasks. And don't get me wrong, she's not obligated to, and she doesn't necessarily like have. She's too young for pocket money, but like she doesn't have to participate, but it is encouraged. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Jeez, how fast pocket money going these days, bro?
bro, I don't know. I
That's
remember,
a pocket mortgage.
bro, with £2.50, I could go to the cinemas or I could go swimming. I could get some snacks. Like, you could do a fair bit. Bro, £2.50 now,
Hey,
you're
but
not getting a
great.
plastic bag. Like,
There's a running theme
seriously.
of plastic bags on this podcast at the moment. We have a real disdain for those things right
Yeah,
now.
bro,
Bro, the worst one is I went to a shop the other day and they charged me for a paper bag. What the? A paper bag? And you're charging me for a paper bag?
where are you going that's giving out paper bags?
M&S.
You deserve to get charged for that paper
It
bag.
wasn't my choice.
I don't care. You still deserve
It was the
to
ladies.
get charged for it.
Bro, no, it's when they're offering you paper or plastic, but either way you're paying. It's like, are you dumb?
Yeah. No.
I should
Get in
be
the bin.
paying for something that's recycling.
Get in
I
the
should be
bin.
paying for something that's biodegradable in the rain, you know what I mean? Put it in the garden, that thing becomes mulch. Like, and I'm paying for it. Are you mad?
But
At least
yeah,
my compost heap's gonna grow nice, because, you know, it's not any compost heap. It's an M&S compost heap.
yeah.
Fine.
I don't want to know what's in your compost heap.
Yep.
But yeah,
Fine.
so I don't know. I do think there is a lot that's kind of misportrayed or like, bro. There's simple things that again are missed. Like I've kind of been enlightened recently to how much just general like house maintenance and things like that like kind of got glossed over and things that you don't really think about where like my mum you either didn't see that kind of side of the kind of life or it was taken care of or neglected. Like more often than not, the kind of handyman side of stuff is the man's role or traditionally it has been anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having that, at least growing up with that for me, it's you kind of miss that bit of a vein. So, like for myself, I kind of explored it myself, and I had older brothers, so you do kind of see a little bit. But again, you still see you're seeing other people exploring the world. Whereas when you're a kid looking at adults, like every kid looks at their dad or looks at their mum as Superman or Wonder Woman or as their hero. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you make life work, and they're right because without that person, you're not existing. Like, how old do we have to get to before we can be self-sufficient in any sense? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually mad thought just thinking about going back to like some history thing that I was looking through. Like, bro, kids I think as young as like 4 or 5 used to be chimney sweeps. Like, could you imagine sending your 4-year-old child, like me, sending my daughter now, instead of going her to go to school, I mean, she'd probably love the idea of climbing up a chimney, to be fair. She's got a thing for climbing at the minute. But that is absolutely her off with her little brush coming back all soot faced. That's so cute. But yeah, like the world's changed so much over the years, and like even thinking about that in terms of like mothers raising children and that, like, bro, going back. So my mum done like odd jobs here and there because of her disability and that it made it harder for her. But she tried to do what she could over time, and that eased off. But she still went out and worked and everything else. Her mum, I wish I'd have asked her, or at least remembered if I asked her, but her mum would have probably not ever had a job. Her mum's mum definitely wouldn't have ever had a job. Like, so all of that's really changed about like how the parents are at home. So now some people are raised more by their dads, even if it's a co-parent or a two-parent household or whatever else. Like some people do spend more time with their father than they do their mum. and it's gonna always change that dynamic. Like I try to think about all of the different areas, but you're gonna always miss something, no? Like I genuinely didn't ever have my dad in my life. He died when I was one. So like that idea of it has always been a what if to me. So
Yeah, I mean, a mom can do most of the things that a dad can do, but the thing that's missing is the influence, and that's the thing that's a massive variable. Like, there's certain things that are probably easier or more efficient, or just typically done by man to son. Think of things like learning how to shave.
mm,
Sounds
self-taught.
sounds trivial, but I didn't get taught.
Mm.
I learned. You know what I mean? Because mom don't know how to shave her face. If I didn't know how to shave my legs, she gangbusters, man. She got me covered.
I mean,
to like to learn how to do this, I had to go out and do that myself. You know what I mean? Like learning, and it sounds so dumb, but like ladies will understand this too. What kind of razor do I like?
mm,
What kind of shaving foam is good for me? How often do I need to shave? What kind of beard style suits me? Like,
I mean,
okay, ladies may not know the beard style one, but you get my point. Like, I literally use a single blade like Sweeney Todd cutthroat razor. He probably never did. But I don't know. I just went out and decided to do it myself. You know what I mean? Like, there's things like that that I think was where some of the disconnect lies. Is that you don't really have like your dad should be your first role model.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like, when I look at my goddaughter, I know that her first role model is you because you're going to set the example of how you do certain things in life and how you act in certain ways and how you carry yourself in certain ways, and that's something that I think is missed.
mm,
Thankfully, thankfully, mum taught me that kind of stuff because she carries herself in a certain way, and I respect that.
mm.
So that's where my work ethic comes from, is seeing how hard she worked to keep me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
but
that's where the work ethic came from for me, is not doing chores and stuff, because I got away with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I got away with being lazy. I
mm,
still do at times, to be honest. But like
but
the seeing how hard she worked to provide is
even
where
no.
that come from for me.
So don't you think that kind of an element of that at least would present itself in your adult life? Like again, like we kind of discuss about like just that idea of grind and everything else. Like, because I'm used to doing the chores and everything else, like, I'm used to going around tidying up after little one. Like, it's not that bad
Mm,
of like, I've kind of built up those mental calluses in a sense. Do you know what I mean? So doing like household chores and
mm.
kind of easing into kind of like family life, it wasn't that uncomfortable or that hard in that sense. Don't get me wrong, it's long. Like, bro, you get so tired of picking up toys, especially like the same toys for the fourth or fifth time that day. But like, you kind of get conditioned to it throughout life and that. And, but I do think no matter how good a job they do, there's still going to be areas that they just can't like, bro, think about like, talking about like awkward boners with your mum. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, birds and the bees is an awkward one here.
Like,
That's an awkward one.
I genuinely never had that conversation with my mum. Like, obviously, by the time I was coming to that age, we had the internet and all sorts. Like, there wasn't really a need for that chat.
I
But
mean, I do remember, obviously, I reconnected with my father, but I do remember him trying to do that with me. And I was like, this is quite funny.
oh
Do
man,
you know where he chose to have that conversation with me?
go on.
Football match.
I mean, there could have been worse places, I guess.
Yeah, bro, it's a stadium that seats 60,000 people.
Mm.
Watching my team play. Is that really the place where I'm going to absorb any of that information?
I just hope he didn't try to, use kind of like visual aids and like.
Bust out a cucumber and a rain jacket in the middle of a match.
But oh, I mean, I suppose yeah, it's going to be equal on either end of that. But like, there are just girl troubles and things like that. Like whatever, just life troubles. Like if you're getting in a fight, whatever. Like there are just going to be some things you don't want to go to your mum for.
Mm.
And I suppose when you don't have a mum, don't have a dad rather, I'm really butchering my words today. You kind of, yeah, you always have that void. Like I had this ongoing debate through school with this girl that her dad died when, at some point during her childhood. And obviously I grew up without my dad, he died when I was one. And we had this kind of ongoing debate of like which was worse. And like obviously in hindsight, neither is worse. Both of them have their own tragedies and in a way benefits as well. Like, but they're different scenarios.
Mm.
Like, but damn it, I forgot where I was going with that one. But yeah, a father is definitely going to have a a different a different place or a different role than a mum in any sense. Like I say, that they're there for different things. Like you'd run to your mum for one thing and your dad for another. I say if you hurt yourself, you'd probably run to your mum. If you want to hurt somebody, you'd probably run to your dad. Like two very different things. Like, and I don't know. Like, part of me thinks about the idea of you kind of become what you missed as a child, or that kind of what's the I am really not talking well today. There's you kind of become that void that you find in the world. So like if you didn't have anybody to stand up for you or whatever else, you probably find that you stand up for the the little people that don't have anybody stand up for them, because you know what it feels like to not have anybody in your corner. If you grew up without a dad, or without a decent dad, or without a mum, or without a decent mum, you're probably going to want to be the polar opposite of that, or get completely put off of it. Like if it's an option in that sense. Like there are so many things that can kind of polarize a massive one. Like they're a massive part of your life. Like I've always said, if as a parent you don't like your kids, you don't like yourself, because they're a reflection of yourself. Well, they should be, at least to an extent. Like, if you've done a good job and they're mirroring the good parts of you, they should. Like, when I see little parts of myself in little one, it makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. Do you know what I mean? That's like the universe going like, yeah, this works. We'll keep this in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, there are parts of me where I'm just like, oh, damn it. Like, she's picked up that bad habit or whatever else. Like,
She's drinking Monster already.
bro.
I discovered my missus likes Monster the other day, and now I don't feel safe.
Oh, damn. Which flavor?
OG.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was very so like, can I have some? And I was like, okay.
She's part of the dark side.
But it's one of those ones, you know, when you're like, if it was like, most other drinks, I'd be like, most snacks, whatever, fine. But there's just certain things where I'm like, no, that's no.
Here's a question.
The other side though is that she didn't buy it for me, so I was just like, I'm kind of obliged to say yes on this one again. It's technically yours.
I see something about food colouring the other day.
You're gonna have to buy bags of those, but we have our own place, man. Joe.
That a lot of red food colouring comes from a parasite, like an insect. And I'm wondering now how much of that is in drinks and things like that would technically not make them vegan
She's not vegan.
or vegetarian.
Very different things.
Can they consume things? No, they can. Vegan. Again, I said I'm doing terrible with my words today.
He's not lying.
Vegetarians can consume products from animals, but not
Not the meat.
the meat itself. So if it's crushed up insects, that would be consuming the animal itself, which would make it non-vegetarian.
Indeed.
So I know,
I guess, anyways, but I don't really know if people track their insects or not.
I don't know, but I know it was like in Skittles, in Nerds, in loads of stuff that was just like, yeah, you're eating bugs.
I remember this.
Yeah. Bro, we really don't know what we're eating. And yeah, I'm really sorry for bouncing all over the place. There was a good intention for this episode, but my mind's not stayed on track today.
To be fair, like, actually, that ties in quite nicely. How dads have an influence on food as well.
Barbecues.
Bang on. Like, I train...
Dads cook outside.
I train a guy who's very much like that. Bro, he's a lovely guy. But one of his favorite things is to take his two sons camping. And I'm like, why'd you like it so much? He's like, it gets them outdoors, it gets them off their screens, they learn to be dirty, and they just learn to cook meat. I was like, no, he's like, we just eat meat. And that's his idea of heaven. Is a grill and just meat. And he's like, they need to learn. He's like, they need to learn to be outside, and it's okay to be dirty, and that you can wash. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's the dad influence right there, that kind of old school, just get on with things at that moment mentality. And that has a massive dictate on how you eat and how you move.
I mean, thank you so much for putting this back on the rails.
Tying into that as well, sporting background. I like my mum at the bits. And she follows along some sports here and there. Not as much as my dad does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just can't raise.
And that's a father's influence, bro. That would be the same as being my missus had a kid.
Mm.
She would never indoctrinate them on sports. That's not her thing. I 100% would.
Mm.
Especially if it's my son. You will damn well learn to like this and watch it with me, boy. This is lineage. You understand me, boy? You can choose your own team. That's fine, but choose wrong, and I will cuss you for the rest of my goddamn days. And I will disown you if it's the wrong team. But you will stay up till 4 a.m. watching American football, me boy. This is your birthright.
I mean, maybe that's why I don't really get that into sports.
This is why I created you, boy.
But
I don't care if you go to school in the morning.
so, I do think that actually touches on like a really important and insightful point, which is like dads allow that air of danger where you can get hurt, you can explore and everything else.
Dads
Like,
do dumb stuff.
oh, 100%. But at the same time, like I think that's where kids learn they're not brittle, that they can.
Especially some.
Oh, 100%. But like,
And it's kind of a rite of
bro,
passage. Like
even
I didn't really learn that on the way until I got old enough, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's kind of a rite of passage that you're gonna scrape yourself and bang yourself up, but then dad's just gonna be like, go on, you're good. And then you're gonna go, oh, I guess I am. Oh, sweet.
And
You know?
that's the other thing as well.
None of that kind of kiss it better kind of stuff. There's a certain age where it's just like, go on,
So
dust it.
So this is the thing. So kids mirror your behavior a lot like dogs in that way. Kids are a lot like dogs.
No.
No. Yeah. So they mirror your behavior in that sense. So if you go up to them and straight away you've kind of gone in an emotional response because you've seen your little baby get hurt and you're, oh my God, are you okay? Straight away they're gonna mirror that behavior. Whereas if you're like, oi, champ, get up, come on.
Always makes me laugh when you see like a proper dad, right? Whenever you see a kid just like bust himself up or fall over, and people are like, and dad's like, I'll be fine. Haven't looked at the kid or his sister and just gone, I'll be alright. Kid's just dragging his foot along the street, like, there you go, walk it off, son.
And this is the thing, like, bro, there are so many instances, like, bro, little one will throw herself down the slide head first, and genuinely, it worries me. But I won't stop her from doing it. Because, again, worst case, you're going to bump your head, there's mats down and everything else. Like, it's, what is it, like, controlled chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is controlled about her chaos, but, like, dads are far more willing to let kids explore the kind of environment around them. And again, like you might get hurt or what is it? It's like, there's a short of this, it's like, 80s dads or whatever else. And this mum goes up to tell this kid not to play with a plug socket. And the dad goes, wait. Now you're not going to do that again, are you, son? It just comes up like 80s parenting or something. It's just like, yeah, again, it's going to hurt, but that kid's never going to play with a blood socket again. Or they're going to find a thing for it. Like,
but I think, I don't know, I think for a boy growing up without a dad, like there is certain things that you do miss being taught or being educated on. You kind of have to figure out for yourself. Like learning about your own energy is a unique one. Learning how masculine energy works.
But the thing is, again,
a typical masculine energy in the sense that you're normally more protector of the realm, builder of the realm kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like learning how that plays its part in life.
But as well, you've got to think, like, obviously we're talking there from the point of sons, but then look at the point of daughters. Like for a daughter, a dad is their safe place, the person that's going to protect them, their king, their this, their that. Do you know what I mean? Like the person that treats them like a princess. Like that is their safety net in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it'd be really interesting to kind of delve down that route or whatever else, where it's like, because bro, to me, my daughter is my little princess, and I would destroy the world for her. So to not have that in your life, that's got to leave a hell of a void, no? And then how would that cascade throughout your life? What would that then say about your idea of men? So then how many people's idea of men would be like, well, dads, yeah, they're not around. Oh, men, they don't stick around. Da, 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 da. And how much does it perpetuate through life? And now we're sitting in a world of, I wonder if we've just gone through a stage of like the most single parents ever.
It definitely feels more common.
But this is the thing, because at the time I was thinking about, well, maybe at the times of war, all the men were out at war, so there would have been a lot of single parent households. But then it would have been a lot more normal because everybody's, or a lot of people's like dads and whatever else are out at war. So, but I guess probably now it's just a societal norm to know that there's, for no reason, or for no, I don't want to say no good reason, because a lot of the time it is for a good reason or whatever else, you don't know the reasons, but for no overriding reason, shall we say, that it is commonplace that there are just single parents galore. Like, I'm a single parent. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are so many people that,
I think that's part of times changing in the sense that like people aren't as bound by relationships as they used to be.
mm,
Culture has changed in that regard, especially in the UK, probably in the US as well.
yeah,
We're
bro.
not as religious as we once were. Like we're not as old fashioned as we once were, where it's like it would be frowned upon
Oh,
to
bro,
be a single
it
parent.
would be more than frowned upon. It would be like, hey, you knocked up my daughter? Knock, knock, click, click. You're getting married tomorrow.
100%.
Like,
Like even thinking like when we were kids, bro, like there would have been our moms would have faced people judging them for being a single mom,
mm,
even though that probably wasn't. Well, they definitely wasn't their fault. Your mom didn't decide that your dad was going to die, and my
no.
mom didn't decide. My mom didn't decide on how things were going to go with her and mine.
Mm.
So it wasn't their fault, but they were there to pick up the pieces and keep things moving the best they could. Yeah,
Uh,
there definitely were people out there who probably would have judged them for that and probably would have labeled them as whatever because of scenarios that were actually outside of their control.
but then I think this is the kind of catalyst of like, is at that point that was out of their control, what did they choose to do?
They chose
I
to
mean,
bring everything back
I,
into control and run with it, bro.
I don't, freaking words today. I think you even said it before that like, although your mum and dad ain't together, your mum never goes out of her way to talk bad about your dad or shun him in front of you or whatever else. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, my mum still had endless love for my dad, even years and years after he passed away. She was writing him love letters, for God's sake.
Mm.
So like you still see that appreciation, whereas sometimes that toxic side comes in and it's just like, oh, all men are like that, or all fathers are like that. And that is just so not true for so many people. Like every scenario is so unique. And unless you take the time to find out the ins and outs of it, you're not going to be able to have a decent opinion on it. And even then, it's your opinion. Like, it's going to be far different if you was to have lived that experience yourself. Like, I think it's something that Joe Rogan says, right? It's, if you lived my life and I lived your life, you would be me and I would be you. But I don't think that's quite true. Because even still, like, if I lived your life, there's nothing to say that I would have processed it in the way that you did. If
Mm.
I would have taken each life event that you had and done the exact same thing with it and vice versa. Like, I remember there was a lot of my childhood, and it probably leads to what this podcast is now, where I question, like, why me? Why did my dad die? Why this? Why that? Da 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 da. Da. You spend a lot of time kind of contemplating those thoughts, and you kind of realize that there may be an answer, but really and truly, what does it change?
Mm.
Like, even if I found out that, um, it's hard to kind of put a good kind of analogy in there. Even if I found out some kind of information about my dad, for example, because I've never met the person themselves, it will only ever be a story. There's no actual knowing that person. Kind of like when I was talking to you about interviewing people remotely. Like, unless you meet them in person, it's hard to actually get a gauge of that person.
Mm.
Like, once you're in front of me in 3D, living, breathing, and everything else, I can gauge who you are as a person far more than I can through a screen.
True.
So having that actual idea of who somebody is, like if you've just had a story of like, oh yeah, this person was a deadbeat, they skipped out on you when you was a kid, or oh, this person never wanted you anyway, so that they left, or they was gone before you was born, or they saw you and then there was like, stuff that, bye. Whatever the story may be, it's only a story and you've got to kind of be willing to explore that. And I think that's the kind of, I guess the gift that I was given by not having a dad growing up is that half of my story was completely mine to write.
Mm.
Once I'd realized that all I'm ever going to get from other people is a story, it's just like, okay, cool. I've just got to take it for what it is and I'll write my story. I can only know what I'm going to know about me. All I know is that it took my mum and my dad to put me here. Much more than that, he really didn't have too much bearing on my life. A lot of my life, I was brought up by my mum. Well, majority of my life. Do you know what I mean,
Mm.
man? But even that has its ebbs and flows. There was a point, especially as a man, that, well, when you go from being a boy to a man, you don't want to be looked after your mum, but by your mum anymore. You want to look after her. Like, you want to be able to provide for her. Like, how many men freaking get successful and they're like, first thing I want to do, take care of mama.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that ever leaves you. And it's going to be one of my biggest kind of regrets through life, if any, is that I never got to that point in life where I could kind of pay my mum back before she passed. But man, I'll pay that forward onto her granddaughter and then some. Like, but it is that powerful thing of like, just because you start rough, it don't mean you're going to end rough.
Mm.
Like, sometimes that rough start can be your greatest strength, your greatest gift. Like, I know my mum's determination, seeing all that she fought for over the years and everything else, made me freaking respect her untold amounts. Do you know what I mean? And it taught me a lot about the world. Like, not being funny, if my mum with all of her problems could do what she done, like, not being funny, like, sitting there in the amount of pain that my mum was in on a day-to-day basis and still ask other people how their day is, man, if that ain't a lesson in selflessness in itself, I don't know what is. Like, genuinely, I think about her when I'm having a bad day and I'm moaning about, like, back pain or whatever else. So, John, really, how bad is it, bro? Like, are you sitting there at the point or on the brink of tears? And if you would you be willing to ask somebody else how they're doing? Probably not, to be quite honest with you. Like, if I am being completely honest, and even as a father, like, when I'm deathly ill and like, I've got a headache or whatever else, as much as I love my daughter, switch that vein off and be like, I'm going to care about you right now. But for mums, it's like not even second nature, it's like first nature. My mum would be there shivering, but give you the shirt off her back if she saw you even freaking mention that you was cold.
That's what mums do, man.
And bro, like, when you actually realize that and you appreciate that, like, bro, they do so much for us that, like, no one day is going to be able to show the level of appreciation they freaking deserve. Like, for God's sake, the majority of them, and I'm only saying the majority because of C-sections and that, push you out of their freaking body. Like, if that, but what man's going to do that? I love my daughter to absolute bits. But would I, if I had pushed her out of my own body? I don't think so.
No.
Considering the majority of the time they involve stitches and all sorts. It's not like, for as sophisticated as humans think we are, the birthing process really isn't pleasant.
No.
Bro, random fact about the birthing thing. Do you know it's supposedly because of some king's fetish, that's why women have to give birth on their back. It was natural that they gave birth on their front, but he liked to watch. So he basically decreed that the doctors had to make them give birth on their back. Better for the viewing angle, but worse for the woman.
Damn.
Yeah. There are some creeps through history and still alive. But yeah, like, there is, I suppose that's another kind of running joke through history of like, if men had to have babies, we would have cracked that kind of system by now and had it down to like a fine art. Like, you clock in at friggin' 9 a.m. and you clock out at 9:15, the kid's out. Like, but considering women have to deal with it, we're like, yeah, it's not our problem.
I think we'd make it 10 times worse.
Bro, if you had to friggin' push a child through your penile, would you not like find the most efficient and like the best way for that?
But the thing would be split in half. You'd never be able to use it again.
Bro, they say that about women. They stitch them back together and go back out in the world.
No, because it's been evolved to do that. That's the thing. That's the thing.
No. Okay, I'm going to come to women's defense here. I got you, ladies. Don't worry. You cannot say that they have evolved to have their nunnies ripped in half through childbirth and then stitched back together. That is not a part of Darwin's evolution.
Well, surely somehow it must.
No. So through history,
I'm not coming at this from a misogynist angle, by the way. I'm not saying women are designed for childbirth. I'm not that
you
guy.
baby makers.
I'm not that guy.
Don't worry, we're far enough in that the guidelines kind of questionable now.
But I'm still not that guy, so I will defend myself. Thank you very much, sir. I'm not a far right lunatic, man. Jesus, but saying genetically, it happened. So it must have been designed that way. Or engineered that way, if that makes sense. A better way of saying it.
No, so from what I understand, at least from
I know it's still,
bro, it is a sight to see.
I still get reminded. I still get reminded by my mudge about how many stitches I cost her, bro. And I'm 31 years old. It's the ultimate argument ender. Like, honestly, if me and mum are like chatting, and it starts getting a little bit like, all right, we have a disagreement here. Obviously, I still respect her way too much. I'll back down anyway. So she raised her voice, it's like, alright, cool, whatever. But if we're like, having a laugh, whatever, you know how you have that little banter with that, and you fire back and forward. If she's like, I've had enough of this, she'll just bust out the ultimate killer, which is just, do I need to remind you how many stitches you cost me, son? Be like, good night, see you later. I'm out.
To be fair, bro,
I'm not here for it. I don't want to go through this again. I'm sorry.
to be fair, bro, you was the size of a Thanksgiving turkey. So
I came out on that basin tray, bro.
literally.
Like, they wrapped me in a foil blanket and everything. Then one day they were just like, he's not making any noise, and I'm just like, oh,
So
I'm chill. Like,
basically, as far as I understand it anyway, it was the point of which we started to walk on 2 feet that basically made childbirth a lot more difficult, because by going from walking on all fours to walking on 2 legs, you tilt the pelvis and then therefore narrow it. So now you've got a narrow birth canal. So humans went through a kind of adjustment period of only premature babies being born, because if they came to kind of full growth, they couldn't pass through the birthing canal and they would, the mum and the baby. So only premature babies were basically surviving for the longest of times. And then that kind of became the societal norm, and now it just is. So now when babies are born, they've still got that soft spot in their head that is just like a self-destruct button, which you should never press. And they kind of finish forming outside of the skull, and that's how we are now. But that's why they kind of push for like natural births. And if you see like birthing pools, they're still on all fours and everything else. It's very, I guess, only in like the Western world where it's like you're got the doctors all around you and everything else, feet in stirrups that is kind of on your back. But yeah, I don't think we're very adapt for the kind of changes that we've made. Like we're definitely trying to such a bad way of saying it, push ourselves into a box that we don't quite fit in that sense of like childbirth is something that should be fairly natural. And you'd think like, bro, a giraffe just walks along, pops out a kid and barely even stops chewing a leaf. Like, we shouldn't struggle that much more, realistically, but yet freaking childbirth seems to be one of the most excruciating things a human can go through. That and paying taxes. Sorry, I had to cut the tension somehow. But yeah, like, bro, I don't know if you can be grateful enough to your mum. Like, for God's sake, the things that they went through to put you.
especially if you have a good one.
Yeah, like, if you've got one.
Let's be honest, both genders can be terrible parents.
Oh, 100%.
But if you have a good mother, man, geez, you probably set. And I say that as a man who does believe that a fatherly influence is important. But I don't know, man. Probably biased, but I think a good mother steers you so well.
Obviously, it's kind of stupid to say, but one decent parent is better than two bloody dullards.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have got a good mum or a good dad, show them some appreciation. Like, for God's sake, it's not always easy. Like, we spoke about it in passing and, like, kind of in the Kids Are Selfish episode or whatever else, but, like, as a parent.
Kids are selfish. I'm sure there's so many people that got bent out of shape by that and took it the wrong way, which is hilarious to me.
Oh, bro, the thing is that's with the viewership now. Like, once it gets out there more, yeah.
I'm just saying that having kids is technically a selfish act. Everyone's like, how can you say that having kids is selfish?
But the thing is, bro, there are so many things as a parent. Like, bro, I would happily go hungry to see my daughter with a full belly.
I'm just saying that by having a kid, you put yourself in that line of fire.
100%. And bro, again, there are certain things that, again, you feel rewarded for doing that. But that's if you're a good parent. There are plenty of deadbeat parents out there that would be like, yeah, I could pay for your tuition, or I could go to Tahiti, or I could go gambling, or I could do this, that, or whatever else.
Adrenaline is a hell of a drug, bro.
But this is the thing, like, bro, parents just get that same kind of hit just off their kids. So I say, like, when I see my little one absolutely full of life, enjoying herself, when she's fascinated and she's like, Dad, 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 look, look, look. I'm like, what, baby? Like, I guess life's kind of tainted me. So it's not tainted her. So it kind of reinvigorates me and everything else. And I hope that, like, I done that for my mum through her life and our time together. Like, there was times that we would go on little adventures and shit. Like, I remember taking her through some like backwards brambles in her wheelchair, for God's sake. Like, to the point where I had to take my t-shirt off and put it over her head so she wouldn't get cut up by all these brambles. But I knew that there was this kind of like back little fence where these horses were, that like it was part of this like is it called a paddock?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, go John, finding some words. Basically like the back of this paddock, and like the horses would come up and you could stroke them and all that. And obviously she loved horses and we was broke. But I snuck her back there one day to go look at the horses and that. And yeah, I got cut to shreds by the brambles and that. But she got there, and bro, little things like that where it's just like, oh, like she had a good day that day, or just like little things where you kind of pay it back. Like, bro, when was the last time, or what was the last thing that you done that made your mum genuinely smile? It's an actual genuine question.
I actually remember. Got a hot second, to be honest. Probably Christmas.
What did you do?
I can't remember. I know that something. I struggled to remember yesterday.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean,
I would have done something, mate, but I can't remember.
yeah, I definitely know you don't. You don't. Didn't you go away?
Nah, that was like last year, like right towards the beginning of the year. I took us to see Northern Lights. That was pretty sick.
I lose track. But this look, you take her around the world and this that, and everything else, like when you can, and but again, like I think it is just important to kind of take that time and realize how much of an impact they make on us. Because I mean, not only would we all not be here if it wasn't for damn mothers. I mean, and fathers. It takes two to tango, but the mums are the one that carry us to term. Like, if we wouldn't be here without them, we wouldn't survive till adulthood for the most part without them. Like, bro, how many of our mums put up for us with us for far too long? And hey, if it was a single dad bringing us up, it'd be 18. You're out the door if you're lucky.
Well, some of them would be, yeah. Not all of them.
Not all, but again, as we were saying earlier on, fathers tend to come with that stricter vein, that more structure, more discipline, and everything else.
Yeah.
So if we're going to polarize for a second, it's far more likely to say that a dad's going to kick you out before a mum's going to kick you out. But I don't think my mum would ever have kicked me out.
Like, she don't kick me out.
Exactly. Do you think living with your dad, you could say the same thing?
I can't even imagine that reality, to be honest with you. So, hard to
You
say.
kind of argue my point there, you know what I mean? Like, mum's willing to put up with you forever and dad's not. But look, show your mum some appreciation, show whatever parent. You might be getting raised by your nan. We ain't even covered that. Like, there's so many people that raise children. Like, what's the saying? It takes a village to raise the children, to raise a child. I'm really butchering my words today. Do I really want to aspire to be a decent podcaster? I'm butchering my words this much.
Sam, bro, there's room on the channel for us to be a duo.
Duo?
You can learn how to play golf, homie.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Get you custom made golf tracksuit.
if you're buying, I mean, if you was buying it, had no cheeks in it, or something could be dodgy. I could not trust it. Yeah, is there any more things that you want to say, a hat tip towards mums, other than Happy Mother's Day, if you're seeing this on Mother's Day?
Nothing I can think of at the moment. It's something we'll come back to, no doubt, time and time again.
But look, if you are a single mum, or if you're just a mum in general, or single dad, thank you for trying. Like, no matter what, if you're showing up, putting in the work, trying to raise a decent human being that is going to be a decent member of society, thank you. Because some people don't try. Like, some people leave them to the wolves, and that's not best for anybody. Thank you for taking the time to put up with our nonsense, because God knows I gave my mum more than enough nonsense throughout the years. Like, the stuff that she listened to, cleaning up after my sick and whatever other bodily functions that may have come out over the years, like, they put up with all of it. So show some damn appreciation. And I don't mean some last minute flowers and some chocolates, some genuine appreciation. They pushed you out into this damn world. Make a damn effort for them, for God's sake. Seed for this episode? is going to be take some time to think, what are you doing out of habit? What are you doing simply because the people that raised you done so? Again, they've done a great job, but it's not to say they've done a perfect job. Understand where you can improve or where you can change things or just explore things a bit differently. Now look, my mum always used to do a Sunday dinner, but hey, that's like a traditional British roast. What about the rest of the world's cuisine? We could have changed throughout the year or whatever else. Like a little bit of variety wouldn't have been a bad thing. And that's definitely something that really jarred me by the end of it. Like by the time I was a teenager, I was cooking for myself because I couldn't stand my mum's cooking. It was so repetitive. There was no seasoning. Like even salt would have been too spicy for my mum at times. Like it was bad. So look, our parents do a great job a lot of the time, but there is always room for improvement. The world's always changing, so try to change with it. Explore something new and learn something new. All the best, and we'll catch you on the next one.